Welcome to Raising Special Needs Kids. Real conversations, real hope, and real stories for families walking the special needs journey. Our host is Monica Schmelter, sister to a brother with Down syndrome, and we're here to remind you, you're not alone.
Hi, this is Monica Schmelter, and this is the Raising Special Needs podcast. So glad that you've joined us. I'm doing this podcast in honor of my late brother, Donnie, who was born with Down syndrome and was the best little brother a girl could have. And we're doing this to create connection and community with special needs families. And today, I'm talking with a young mom named Andrea Robinson. Andrea, good to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
I'm so glad to have you. Tell me a little bit about your family. You've got 2 kids, right?
I do. Eliana is 5. She actually turns 6 tomorrow. It's her birthday.
Happy birthday, Eliana.
Yes. She's excited to celebrate. She's having a party. And I also have a son. He's 4 years old. His name is Gabe.
So you got 2 kids, so you're a busy, busy mom.
Yes.
And you've been married for 9 years?
I have.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank
you. Eliana, did you find out when you were pregnant?
I did, mostly. So our journey is a little different than a lot of people's. She was my first child, my first pregnancy. And when I found out, I went to a very early ultrasound just to confirm the pregnancy. And on that ultrasound at 6 weeks, they found a couple of small cysts, but everything else looked great, heartbeat, et cetera. But they said, we're not sure what this is. It can be consistent with chromosomal abnormalities. So my first thought was Down syndrome. That's the only thing I ever knew of that was a chromosomal abnormality. So I did a blood test, one of those prenatal screenings, and it showed a high probability for Down syndrome. However, those are not totally conclusive. So I chose not to do the amniocentesis. We prayed a lot through it, and a lot of her ultrasounds looked very normal, per se. They didn't really show any markers for Down syndrome. So we kind of went the whole pregnancy not really knowing, but having in the back of our head that probably, but not sure. And then when she was born, it was pretty obvious, and that's kind of when we knew 100%.
Yeah. I would imagine that you were anxious during the pregnancy.
I was. And looking back, I'm very regretful of that because I didn't enjoy the pregnancy like most moms are supposed to. I was so concerned with my future, her future, the unknown, and a lot of anxiety and just a lot of tears.
Yeah, that's complete. I mean, I can understand that. I shared with you that when I was pregnant with our son, the test showed high probability of Down syndrome. And then when he was born, he didn't have Down syndrome, but I regret that I didn't enjoy the pregnancy. Everybody around me was happy, but in my heart, Andrea, I was thinking, I hope everything's going to be okay, but what if it's not okay? I was 25 years old, and, the doctors were saying, well, you might just take one of your options. That's how they said it, because you're so young. And those are hard things, but my husband and I, like you guys, we prayed, cried a lot of tears. It's definitely a hard thing.
It is. And I didn't know really people that have Down syndrome either. So this was kind of an unknown world to me when I was pregnant. And I was in my early 30s. I just assumed that everything was going to be by the book and easy. And this curveball was not something I was expecting, especially when you're pregnant and you're going through hormonal changes and you're physically uncomfortable sometimes. It's just the combination of all of that made it really hard.
Yeah. But now she's almost 6 years old, and I saw her pictures. She is you've got a beautiful family.
Thank you.
What is her personality like?
She's very confident. She loves life. She's very outgoing. She talks a lot. She's very, very social. And something I really admire about her is her confidence. She doesn't really have inhibitions when it comes to saying hello to people or trying something new. And that's a difference I see with her and my son. My son is a little bit more reserved. And she's really outgoing, and she's not concerned about what other people think of her. And I admire that a lot. She has a very full life.
I admire that too.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say I still have concerns about what other people think.
Yes.
I have to process through that and remind myself, this is ridiculous, Monica.
Yes.
So that is wonderful that she doesn't have that. So she's kind of your outgoing child.
Yes.
And then Gabe, your younger.
He's a little more reserved. He's a little more cautious. He's very aware of his surroundings, and if I do this, will people think a certain thing? He's a great little boy, but I see a
course.
big personality difference between the two of them, whereas he's more cautious and she's willing to try anything. Yeah.
So do they get along well, or is there sibling rivalry?
They do get along great. They play and they fight like typical siblings. But when they play, they're wonderful together. They entertain each other for hours. And then when they fight, it's just like most sibling relationships.
Exactly, because there's ups and downs. Like I had that with my brother. There were times that I was a lot older than him. I was 11 years older, but there were times like he would just make me really mad, or I would make him mad.
Yes.
And it was just like any other brother and sister.
Absolutely. It's a very typical relationship. It's not different because she has Down syndrome. They're just like any other brother and sister.
Right. And that's one thing that you shared with me, Andrea, that in your family that you've chosen, not to lead by diagnosis,
right,
but to treat her just like your other child.
Absolutely. We raise her and have the same expectations of her as we do with my son or any other children that we may have in the future. So to us, she's just our kid. She's not a kid with Down syndrome specifically. And most of her life is very quote unquote normal. I mean, every family is really different for what normal is for them, but she goes to playgrounds, she goes to school, she goes to church, she flies on airplanes, she goes to the beach, she goes to Disney World. She lives a very full...
She's one busy 6-year-old.
She's busy. She has a really full life, and it's very normal. It's not like every day we wake up and feel different because she has Down syndrome. I would say the majority of her life is normal. It's not different.
And were you and your husband, were you able to come to that conclusion right when she was born that we're just going to treat her like any other?
Absolutely. We knew that she was probably going to need extra support and help, and we have been very committed to providing that for her because there's a lot of resources available for parents. You just have to find them because there's a lot of places that want to help and that will help. But yeah, our first goal was just she's a little girl and we want her to have the life that any little girl deserves.
Exactly. When it sounds like, man, you're very successful at that, going to the beach and going all around.
Yeah. I mean, she hasn't slowed us down. I think a lot of people think if you have a child with special needs, that it will somehow dilute your family or your experience as a family, but it's really enhanced it. It's not been something that's held us back.
See, that's a great joy, and that's a great message to be able to share with people. Because
Yes.
I remember when like I said, I was 11 years older than my brother, and I remember doctors and social workers basically telling my parents that this is going to ruin your family.
Yeah.
Put them in an
hard.
institution. And of course, we're different in this day and age than in 1972 when he was born. But that's heartbreaking, and we did not find that to be true.
Yes.
We loved him like any other little brother. When we met him, right, it was instant love, and I put him in a stroller and took him all around, and it was just a wonderful thing. And that's one of the things I want this podcast to do is to say to parents, you can still enjoy your family and celebrate your child at every milestone.
Yes. Yes. It won't always look exactly like every other family, but and to what you said about today being different, my heart breaks for parents 50 years ago or 100 years ago that had kids with disabilities because it was like you were just supposed to keep them away and put them away. And there's countries today, even in Eastern Europe, that still do that. And they're missing out. They're missing out on opportunity. They're missing out on joy. They're missing out on a full life just because they're fearful of what society will think, and also because the society won't say, hey, everyone has a place in society. Let's find a way to support everyone.
Exactly. It was a lot different.
Yeah.
Thankfully, to my parents' credit, they didn't know until he was born, but it was clear when he was born. They just said, he is our child, and we will take him and love him. And that's what we did as a family. And, Andrea, I don't think that I would have come to faith in Christ without my brother. So my brother's birth and life impacted my family in profound and beautiful ways. And I think that it helped me, and I'm going to guess it's going to help Gabe, your son, have more compassion.
Yes.
Understand kindness. I remember that I felt very protective of my brother and defended him if there was teasing or bullying. I wasn't going to have it. I was the big sister.
Yes.
Is Gabe like that?
He is. I'm interested to see how that dynamic will grow as he gets older. It hasn't really been at play very much in their current age group, but our prayer for him and hope is that he will be a very empathetic kid. We want him to stand up for not only his sister, but for any kid that's getting bullied or ostracized. We've told him, like, everyone is your friend. You know, we don't pick and choose friends. We don't say we don't play with certain people. Like, everyone's included. And we're trying to instill that in him so that he does become an advocate and the good kid that stands up for others. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a good mom, you're good parents, and that's what he'll do. And I'm so grateful for the lessons that I learned from my brother's life and to advocate, like you said, for everybody and for anybody with a disability, regardless of what that was. I just think that I had a deeper understanding because I lived and grew up with it and what that was like, all of the testing he had to go through and, you know, the different things that kind of reached crisis mode in the house when we were waiting to hear what class he might be placed in and, you know, my parents feeling nervous about all of that. But the joy more than made up for all of that.
Yes.
Is she in school now?
She does. She goes to a preschool. So this will be her final year there. She'll graduate from there in June of next summer. So yeah, she goes to a fully inclusive preschool. There's another little girl in her class that has Down syndrome. There's another little boy that I think might have a speech delay or something, but all the other kids are quote unquote typical. So she's in a very inclusive environment and she loves it. She loves school.
Oh, that's wonderful. So she's excited to go?
Oh, yes.
How about Gabe?
Yeah. He does like school. There's some days that he doesn't want to go, which is kind of like I was as a kid. But yeah, she loves going every day because she likes to be busy and likes to see people and be out.
Yeah, when you said that, I was thinking, I was like Gabe. I wanted to go most days, but not every day.
Yeah, he has to stay home sometimes. I just want to hang out with you. And I'm like, no, this is good for you.
Got to go to school.
Yes.
How about, you were telling me about the National Dolphin Swim Program. What is that all about?
Yep, so it's in Nashville. It's a local swim program that's 100% free. So it's for any child, and I think even young adults. I'm not sure what age it goes up to, but if you have a qualifying disability, and there are many disabilities that qualify for that, you can get free swim lessons. And it's been amazing. Eliana's been in it for, I think, at least 2 years. And it's a great social connector for her. The instructors are wonderful with her. She loves it. It's an activity that she can do and participate in. That's a sport also that's going to give her a good life skill. Yeah.
And it's just good for you all around. And when you take your beach trips and do all of that, you'll know.
Every child, if they're able, should definitely learn how to swim. It's a life-saving skill and it's a freedom skill. And it's a wonderful program. Again, it's no cost to anybody, so no one's excluded from
which is wonderful.
Joining it, yeah.
I know that my brother learned to swim also, and we had a pool in our family, so that was really important.
Oh, very important.
That he would know how to swim and all of that. And I can just remember him running across the lawn and just jumping into that pool. Like, we had so much sibling fun in that pool.
I'm sure.
And he loved to get a tan and hang. We just had so much fun.
Those are good memories.
As kids. Such good memories.
Yes.
And he would take the rafts from me and try to pull it out so that I would fall into the water. So we had a lot of sibling fun.
Yeah.
Exactly. He was being a brother, and I thought it was hysterical, and I would work to get him back too.
Yes.
And, you know, that's one of the messages that I want this podcast to get out, is that having a child with Down syndrome or anything that is a disability or called a disability, it's not going to ruin your family.
No.
They're going to enhance the family, and there's going to be fun. And the thing is, there are challenges with all children.
Absolutely.
Right? Whether they're special needs or not. I mean, we all want the children who get all A's in schools and never talk back. But, you know, that's not reality.
Yeah, it's really not. I know that just from my friend groups. You know, every parent, every family dynamic has unique struggles and parenting hardships, and they're all different.
Yeah. And that's another reason we're doing the podcast, is just to try to create connection and community so that parents don't feel alone, and will learn wise things like you don't have to lead your family by diagnosis. God blessed you with a child, and it doesn't matter what that diagnosis is. That's still your child, and they still need opportunities to do things.
Yes.
What is a message that you might have, like, for a young mom like yourself right now, who perhaps, Andrea, is concerned about their child and what this disability will look like?
Yeah. I would just say to not fear. A lot of times the things that we imagine in our head are a lot worse than anything that we will ever actually face. And I also know that everyone is capable of doing it. Like, we can do hard things, and we can do things that are off plan. And some of those things end up being the parts of life that are most fruitful and the most rewarding in the long run. So it's really an empowering thing. I think any parent should know that, hey, you can do this. And there's also people out there to help you, especially in America. We live in a country with a lot of opportunity and a lot of services, and it's okay to take advantage of those. And don't be scared. Like, everything is at your fingertips. God has prepared you for this, and you can handle it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be okay.
I love that you said we can do hard things.
Mm-hmm.
I say that to myself all the time.
Yeah.
I can do hard things with God's help. I don't have to shrink back and think, oh, I can't do this. This is never going to work. Everything in crisis mode. He prepares us for whatever stage of life that we're in. We may not like what we face all the time, but he's going to see us through.
Yes.
And it's wonderful that you and your husband were in agreement on that from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I have a very supportive husband. He's wonderful with her. She is especially fond of her father. Like, Eliana loves him dearly. So they have a really special, unique bond. And he's a great parent. And he, through my pregnancy, he actually handled it a lot better. And he was very like, okay, this is what we got, and rise to the occasion. And he was okay with it right away. I had to take more time, I think, to kind of process it. But yeah, he's been wonderful from the start with her.
That's wonderful that you have a supportive husband, and that he helped you during the pregnancy, and that he was just ready to face whatever it was.
Yes.
Knowing to embrace your daughter and all of that. That is a blessing that not everybody has. So I'm so grateful that you had that. I know in my situation, my husband was very supportive because we didn't know if our son would be born with Down syndrome, and he would pray with me every day. He would grab my hands and just pray with me that God would give us strength for whatever the outcome was going to be. Yeah. And I know a lot of people will say, well, God answered the prayer because your son didn't have Down syndrome. And I just want to say this. All life is valuable. If it had gone the other way, we would have loved that baby too.
Yes.
And we would have enjoyed his life as well. So I think we just respecting human life is so important for me. So we're almost out of time. Is there one last thing you want to leave a mom or a dad with? Yeah,
just encouragement and support, honestly, and know that you're not alone. I think that that's a big thing. There's a huge support system. Sometimes you just have to go out there and try to make the connections and put yourself out there, but there's so many families and so many programs that want to walk alongside you and help you and support you, and your child is going to have a really full life. A lot of that is how you as the parent take the reins and what you decide to do, because your child has a lot of potential. You just need to help them live up to it.
And really, if you think about it, Andrea, that's what we should do with all of our children, right? It takes knocking on doors, looking for resources, figuring out what kind of a learner they are, what their personality is. And what you're saying is just don't shirk back because there's this diagnosis.
Yes.
Just go ahead and parent.
Yes. Let them be a kid and let them live up to their ultimate potential.
Yeah. So thank you for joining me today. One of the things we do on the Raising Special Needs Kids podcast is every podcast I tell a funny story about my brother. And my hope and prayer is that other parents will send in their funny stories or videos of their kids. So we went to a family gathering, and you know how every family has certain personalities, like Aunt Matilda, that's just weird or whatever. And my brother was always like super honest. He just said whatever he thought. So he walks up to this round table, and there are 5 of our relatives sitting there. And he said, I like you, I like you, I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you. And my mom said, oh, he doesn't mean that. And my brother said, yes, I do.
I love the honesty. It's a trait of Down syndrome, with a lot of people. Yeah, just no inhibitions and just telling the truth.
And it's wonderful. And so enjoy your child. If they speak up like that, just laugh and have fun with it. I'll be back again next time with more on the Raising Special Needs Kids podcast.
Thank you for listening to Raising Special Needs Kids, a safe place for honest stories, practical help, and a whole lot of encouragement. We are so glad we're on this journey together, and we will see you next time.